thinking you're able to hear little Ari snoring. Hear a little ukulele playing. Hi everyone, it's been a while. Been a little distracted raising a Shar-Pei puppy. And hasn't, I have to say, she's been a complete and utter lovely little being to help raise up. And she's a great boat dog. Man, she just loves this boat. She loves the truck too. We miss the truck. We finally broke the truck on the Hama Hama. Went up there so much that the rear differential finally gave in. I think it's running on maybe 2 teeth at the moment. So we don't have a truck to get us up to the mountains anymore, which is all right. She just had some eye surgery. She did a face plant running after a little creature into a bush, a little ragged bush. It caused a gland to pop out between her 3 eyelids. It was pretty gnarly, sticking out there for a while. I wanted to wait until she got until I got a little bit more information on how to deal with it, as well as her a little bit more age before we went into getting it surgically fixed, which is what happened just recently. So she's recovering well. We got her a little Crown of Victory collar. People like to say it's a cone of shame, and she knows exactly what they're saying, and she doesn't like it, and she starts pawing at it, wanting it off whenever people mention that. So I've had to ask a few people to shift their verbiage around her. That's a protective mom for you. But quite honestly, people need to change their negative verbiage to something else anyway. That's not a very nice thing. How would they feel if they had to wear one for 2 weeks straight? Not being able to take it off for anything. You have to walk around with it everywhere. How would you feel if somebody called it the cone of shame for you? Huh? Wouldn't you rather call it the Crown of Victory or Collar of Victory? Call it something else. Call it something nice, because that is what it is. She successfully came through surgery, and this is going to keep her surgical area safe and healing. Even though it's causing her some issues, she's doing better than any other dog, any other pet I've ever had to wear one of these things. So, stupid humans can go themselves. So that's what's up. Just been chilling here on the boat with the dog. Been doing some minor cleanup on the boat, getting it ready, prepping it for getting the bright work cleaned up and oiled up. Getting the decking cleaned up. About ready to do some sanding, replacement on the house. So got to clean it before I can tear it apart. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, is just prepping all the areas and the whole boat really for hitting the major reconstruction here on the house. pretty pleasant marina. Washington opened up, so the tourists have ascended upon us for the hot tub and the pool. That I've only gotten to take advantage of maybe once. Once for the pool. A couple of times for the hot tub. I'm looking forward to getting back into that. I need it. I need to get that therapy, actually. It's good therapy. So Ari's going to learn how to be on the boat by herself, and she's doing really good. She stays on board. She doesn't get off. We had a padoodle doodle, whatever those things are called, a big black padoodle dog, come off of its leash and just walk back and forth by the boat trying to get Ari off, and she would not leave the boat. She was barking like crazy. She was arfing at him. She was definitely barking at him, holding her ground. The seal, and Ari's begun to notice the seal and the otter. The otter have come up and are noticing her messing with her on occasion. It's kind of funny, especially the baby harbor seal comes swimming up under the stern of the boat where Ari sits and snuff at her. But Ari has that snuffing thing going too. She kind of sounds like a harbor seal. I think it wants her to come play with it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my last story about Mr. McGuire, his bull, and the aliens. There's more to tell. There's another Mr. McGuire story, actually. So in this Mr. McGuire story, it kind of goes on along with the first one I told you a little bit. But this one goes way back to whenever I was a child and excited to go to the new school that was built for us in that community where I grew up, little town of Pine Ridge, South Carolina. It's actually kind of perched up on a sand hill. That's where the portion of South Carolina that we lived in was the old ancient beach from millions of years ago. It's called the Sand Hills, where we lived. And on the way to school, through the woods, there was a straight shot view all the way to Columbia on a good day. And a nice, clear day, you could see the city of Columbia. So the school was built as a tornado deal, like protection from foul weather. That area had seen a couple tornadoes that were pretty bad. So they built that school. And in building that school, there was the underground, the drainage system and electrical that ran out and emptied into those woods, and that view that I was just talking about. And us kids would walk through the woods to school. And that was one of the ways that we do it. There's a dirt road and then a little piece of wood, that strip where you could see straight through to Columbia. That was kind of the school's backyard. A side wood, which was pretty much a wetland. but that's Collins's. That's our style. Instead of walking the sidewalk to school, we'd walk the wood. Walk the path through the woods. And I was going to go the long, long way. So I wanted to say hi to Mr. McGuire's bull. I had to go through the bull's field. This is my first day of school. And I was going to walk. So I said hi to the bull. I was out there scratching it. It was sitting on its haunches, letting me pet it. A sweet old bull, actually. I like that bull. It liked me. It didn't mind me. It didn't chase me. It chased all the other kids. Mr. McGuire was out in his chicken coop getting worms for fishing, feeding the hens. And he saw me out there and he came over to me. He was like, "What are you doing? Thought you were going to school. Aren't you going to school?" "Yeah, I'm going the long way." "I want to go the long way." He was like, "I don't know if you should go back this way. But since you're going, why don't I take you? Why don't I take you through the wood and I'll show you what I'm talking about." He didn't want me going through there, but I was insisting. And so he insisted on walking me and telling me a story about those wood. And those strange, burnt out, circular patterns that were on the ground through those woods. He told me a story about aliens and alien abduction and a kid that was missing that scared me from going through those woods for a while, at least alone. I'm not going to go into any detail about what he told me, just in case that story is true about that missing kid. I don't want to bring up any trauma for anybody. And believe me, there was a lot in that community. It's not a very healthy community. So Mr. McGuire was protecting me from more than just the aliens. I found out. And I made it to school. I made it to school late, but I made it to school. And I shared that story with the other kids. So me and a bunch of other kids pretty much stopped going through that particular area. We steer clear. So Mr. McGuire was a sweet old man. And one of the reasons why I keep bringing him up is because my dog happens to look a little bit like him. She smells like my mother, and she's got my mother's sweet disposition, sweetness, just wanting to cuddle, hug, just snuggle, sweet kisses, and she's so funny. She's really funny. She loves cracking me up, and I reward her well for cracking me up. So that's the way it is. But her face definitely looks like old Mr. McGuire. So that's another McGuire story, Mr. McGuire story. I know it's not long, not too much detail in it, but it kind of shows the character a little bit more of this old man who's going out of his way to make sure one of his neighbor children is safely getting to school. For that, I commend you, Mr. McGuire. Thank you very much for keeping me safe. Appreciate that. Very much indeed. So that's it, I think, for today. I'm going to sign off. The work is still being done. I've got a lot of work to do on the motor before I can actually move this boat. There's a lot of work to be done on the house, shoring up the cockpit, as well as making sure the motor's in really good condition before I take her out of this harbor. So I've got a new haul out date. I've been pushing it and pushing it. This one's September 8th. It's my youngest daughter's birthday. So might end up keeping that one. Who knows? But that's what I'm striving for. And I may have a little bit of help. Who knows? It is what it is. We'll see if it turns out. Oh, the puppy's stirring. Hi, Ari. What's up? What are you doing? That's a big yawn. Yeah. All right, puppy. Yep. She's hungry, so I'm going to get up and feed her, get her fed, and take her for a nice long walk. We'll see you later, people. Be well.